No, I was gonna say like, well, no, now the moment's gone. I was gonna do my stupid little kitty voice too. Like I was getting all pumped up. Like you're all for the last 5 minutes. You're all, I got you more than in the play, did you? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do a funny voice too. And then I was getting ready to do one, and I was all, cut me off.
I'm sorry.
The moment's gone. This is what I have to deal with, guys. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Chisme Chronicles podcast.
Episode 9. I cut you off.
Why are you so ready to go all the time?
Listen.
I'm like, can I get my intro in? Like, hey, welcome back, everybody. Episode 9. Let's go.
I'm getting my intro in.
Yeah. Take 2. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Chisme Chronicles podcast.
Episode 9.
Let's go. If this is your first time here, my name is Roman, and I'm here with my crazy niece,
Kaylee. I wouldn't whatever. I wouldn't qualify that, but it's fine.
With my niece that likes to jump the gun.
The calmest niece.
And so what we've been doing is we've been reading some Reddit stories from the Am I the Asshole subreddit.
Yeah.
And then just obviously giving our take and giving our judgment. And
every once in a while, we'll kind of have like a theme. We'll pick a theme for the podcast or whatever. So
speaking of which, today's theme is
smoochers.
Smoochers?
Is that not the theme?
That's kissing.
Moochers.
She's today's theme
lovers.
Love at first sight.
It's lovers. No.
Lust.
Sorry, moochers.
Tension.
Listen, English was not my first language.
Nor mine.
And I'm not even good at Spanish.
So yeah, today's theme is moochers.
Smoochers.
Yes.
Like I said.
Like I hate moochers.
Moochers, okay? People.
/ freeloaders.
Freeloaders, exactly. People who are ready to steal your money.
Yeah.
And they feel like they deserve it. That's the theme.
That sounds like our theme is on theft. Like
just robbers.
Everybody hands down. I'm a smoocher. Hey, put your hands up before I smooch you.
Put your hands up and get against the wall.
So put your hands up
together.
It's put your hands up and turn around. What are you gonna do to me? Smooch the hell out of you. It's so dumb. So everybody put your hands up. The bank manager's on. Ow!
He puts his hands up. You see like a whale tail.
A whale, like
from a thong.
Huh?
What year is it? 2004.
Like turning around and seeing the back of his tongue.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, well, like a mermaid. I was like, what's going on right now?
Just splash water on him, and he's like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like the H2O. The Gen Zers will understand.
Oh my gosh.
I can't even explain that one. We won't even get into it.
Best intro ever. That was so funny.
We need to include the first take also.
No, I am including it.
Okay, no, good. Oh, okay.
I am including it. Like everybody has to see that. You like to you like to cut me off. That way they know like what they can expect.
What we're getting into. Yeah. I know. I went to. This is just a little tangent.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't tell you this part, but I went to that job interview a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And like
fired already.
And the doctor whatever that I was interviewing with, she was like, I can tell you're like already ready to work and whatever.
She's like, put your scrubs on.
Because I just had like so much like energy, and I was like, I need to like tone it down sometimes. I don't know.
She's like, hi, Kaylee. So welcome.
Like, when do I start?
Yeah. So welcome. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
That's literally what they did. And I just came out guns blazing.
Just guns blazing. I run a podcast. I run a successful podcast with over 37 subscribers. Yeah.
Over 37 subscribers. We have how many views now?
About 1,000.
About 1,000.
About a G. A Thowie. About a G.
Listen, you're not Gen Z. You don't
know.
About
10 Benjis.
About 10 Benjis.
Is that what the Gen Z say now? A Thowie?
Sheesh. That's a little old, maybe. Gen Alpha's going to be mad at me.
That's fine. I don't even know what that means.
Your children.
Nah, there's got to be there's got to be like they're 3 and 1. There's
Your
got to be
children
like
are Gen Alpha.
for sure. There's one in between. Oh,
I keep like laughing because like I keep seeing jokes or whatever. I saw 3 jokes about like people being like I'm not ready to have kids, but I have to have kids in the next like 4 years because like after Gen Alpha is Generation Beta.
Okay.
And it's like my kids cannot be betas.
Why like beta testing?
No, oh my gosh, you're just.
I'm so removed.
I'm sorry.
What's
so
a
sorry.
beta? What beta?
Like a beta is like a like alpha.
You mean not
like,
an alpha male? Like
yeah,
an alpha male
Like a
or
beta
the
is like
alpha,
a weak.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
whatever.
Okay,
It's a joke. I mean, it's
Okay.
not a joke to some people. To me, it's a joke. But
yeah. Oh, yeah.
like the Sigma grind set. Like whatever. Like
Yes.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yes.
The next episode is just gonna be me explaining the deepest, darkest internet lore to you for an hour.
We need to do that. We'll do that. We'll do the next
Give you
episode.
like
Will be like our intro. You cut me off like always, and then we'll do like a educational
with just the wrong. I'll be like next episode 21. Just totally wrong.
I'm thinking of the future, man. Yeah.
I'm on that Sigma grind set.
Oh my God. I don't know what to do here. Okay.
Anyways.
So, mooching episode
9.
Episode 9, mooching episode. I'm going to go ahead and kick it off.
Go for it.
Like we always do. And let's see what you guys think. Story number 1. Am I the asshole for asking my brother to be more sympathetic? My 26 male brother, Aiden, 23 male, moved into a house with a friend, Carson, of his a few months ago. Although the house is pretty small, it is only a few years old and it has 3 bedrooms. I've fallen on some hard times recently. I lost my job and I broke up with my girlfriend, so I currently don't have a steady source of income. My parents have talked about Aiden letting me stay with him temporarily since he has an extra bedroom in his house. Aiden was reluctant, but he agreed to let me move in with him for a couple of months. He told me though that I had to follow a few rules while I lived with him. He told me I had to clean up after myself and that I couldn't touch his or Carson's stuff. He also told me that I had to pay my share of the rent, $508 a month, and that I had to find a job within 4 months. I was also given some weekly chores from him: laundry, mow the lawn, clean kitchen. I thought these rules were pretty pretentious, honestly. I feel like I should be able to relax in the house that I'm currently living in and feel like Aiden's acting too much like a parent and he's my little brother. I've honestly been spending the last 2 months just relaxing and playing on my PlayStation. I do occasionally do my chores though, and I've been looking for a job, but I haven't accepted a job offer yet though.
Oh my God.
Aiden came home from work one day demanding that I pay him the last 2 months of rent. Since I don't have a job, I didn't have the adequate amount, so I gave him what I had, $400. Aiden asked where the rest of it was, and I told him that I gave him all my money. I had spent some money on personal expenses while I've been living with Aiden too. Aiden then started screaming at me, saying how he's sick and tired of putting up with how lazy and messy I am. Aiden was bitching about how he constantly has to remind me to do my chores and that I always leave the living room and kitchen a mess. He also yelled at me for how I've been spending my money and that I need to accept a job already. I told him that I've fallen on hard times and that he needs to be more sympathetic towards this. I also told him that he knows I'm a bit messier and that I shouldn't have to change my ways for him.
Oh my gosh.
Aiden told me that I'm living in his house and that I'm fortunate enough that he's letting me stay here. He also told me he won't hesitate to kick me out on the curb if I don't find a job or pay rent within the next 2 months, and that I'm being a mooch. I asked him if he would really make me homeless, and I also said that I feel like he's being ridiculous. He left the house shortly after, frustrated. Aiden bitched about this to our parents, and they told me that I need to listen to Aiden because he's nice enough to let me stay, and what he's asking of me is normal to ask of a roommate. According to Aiden, Carson has also repeatedly asked him when I'm going to move out. I'm honestly a little conflicted on the situation. What do you think?
That's so stupid. First of all, even the fact, I always start like that, by the way. I gotta stop doing that. But anyways, the fact that he admits that he's conflicted about whether he's the asshole or not, clearly, dude, please, come on.
Dude, this guy's delusional. Like,
he sucks. Literally just, hey, I knew I was gonna move into his house, but I thought you could be able to play PlayStation all day.
Dude, what I thought was funny too is like when I was reading this, I laughed when he says, I feel like I should be able to relax in the house that I'm currently living in.
I don't people play PlayStation in the basement.
Yeah. Like,
but I have to mow the lawn.
like,
and clean my dishes.
like
Dude, the fact. Sorry.
No, she said like, well, no, now the moment's gone. I was gonna do my stupid little kitty voice too. Like, I was getting all pumped up. Like you're all for the last 5 minutes. You're all, I got you more than in the PlayStation. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do a funny voice too. And then I was getting ready to do one, and I was all, cut me off.
I'm sorry.
The moment's gone. This is what I have to deal with, guys.
Literally the fact, sorry, this is what I was going to say. The fact that his brother gave him a small list of chores, one of which being do laundry.
Like, do your own laundry.
That's what I'm assuming,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I know I'm quick to make assumptions, but...
Being called out in the comments.
Being called out in the comments, which is totally a joke. Please call me out. It's hilarious. But the fact that he's being told to do his own laundry, dude, then he's like he's a problem.
Yeah. And the guy, let's see how old, I can't remember how old they are. So he's 26 and the younger brother's 23. Obviously, the younger brother's got his shit together. Now, you can live however you want to live. You could be 45 years old.
You can play PlayStation in the basement.
Yeah, play PlayStation all day long if that's how you want to live. But when it's like at the expense of someone else, like,
yeah,
that's obviously wrong.
And you're making like the roommate uncomfortable too, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't want to share space with somebody that's like
messy and stuff.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, okay, if you're messy in your own room, as long as your room doesn't stink and it starts stinking up the rest of the house,
that was my thought.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah, as long as you're not growing mold cultures that are gonna spread in the walls, please.
Yeah, and as long as you're also not making the common spaces.
Carpet,
the common
like
spaces
dirty,
are so important.
Yeah, no, but even like as long as you're not like ruining the carpet, you're gonna freaking kill my security deposit. You know what I mean? Yeah, obviously the bathrooms, the kitchen, all that jazz. But
yeah, and then so on top of all of that, he doesn't even have the money to pay the rent.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like. That's just so crazy to me, man. Like, I feel like I lose faith in humanity every time we make an episode.
Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you don't have enough money to pay the rent. Sometimes,
yeah,
right?
But
he doesn't have a job, and so then this was clearly why he moved in with his brother in the first place. Sometimes, not that that's like okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like people have been there. This is not like a one-off.
Yeah.
But it's one thing if you're like a good roommate who's trying hard and applying for jobs
and accepted a job offer,
and it was your first week and you just don't have the rent this week because you're waiting to get paid.
That's the total normal situation.
And you're a respectful roommate or whatever. Mm-hmm. This is just like,
Yeah, like, oh, I'm just going to live with my brother. Here's $400 and I haven't gotten a job yet. Yeah, I do my chores occasionally.
Yeah.
Come on, Dad.
The freaking like literally the chores are clean up after yourself, do your own laundry and mow the lawn once a week.
Yeah. The guy, the older brother sucks. Just and then I think it's funny how he's like, he reminds him like, I've told him that I've fallen on hard times. You gotta be sympathetic, man.
Please.
While I play my PlayStation in the basement.
Play my PlayStation? Oh, no, but also, like, I feel like, I don't know, obviously, I don't want to make any assumptions. And I don't know what, like, the parents' living situation is. But I feel like it's kind of telling that they didn't, like, and I don't know, maybe they live states apart or something. Mm-hmm. But I feel like but also, it's not like the guy doesn't have a job, he doesn't have a girlfriend, he doesn't, whatever. So who cares? But it's a little bit telling that they didn't offer their own home. They were like, maybe you can live with your brother,
or they also want him to continue to try to be independent, that would be more of a sense of it.
But I feel like as a parent, like,
for sure,
something
you would have been
like,
come on,
is
restart.
Like, if you need to, you just lost your job, you just are going through a breakup, I wonder why.
Yeah,
maybe playing too much PlayStation.
Yeah. But what are you? You're now you're like Edmer Fudd.
That's just, I don't know, that's my like basement dwelling voice.
Yeah.
That's my neckbeard voice. You know what a neckbeard is?
Yes. Wow.
Oh gosh, I was gonna say something even worse. Anyways, we'll move on.
Okay, let's move on.
My story. Okay, this episode is gonna be an hour and a half long. Am I the asshole for refusing to help my stepsister with her house purchase and telling my stepfather it's because of how they treated me as a child? Let's see if I can get through this without stuttering, by the way. Ready. I, 29 female, was about 10 when my mom married my stepfather. I have an older brother, Luke, who's 15, and my stepfather had Amy and Ada, who are 12 and 11. I didn't come from a privileged background. My mom was a minimum wage worker. It says mom, by the way, so Brits. Was a minimum wage worker, and my dad was absent. Our stepfather had a very good income. The deal was that they wouldn't combine finances, and they would each contribute equally to the household and then take care of each other's children with their separate money. My mom never had anything for us, and my stepfather was spending big on his kids. That included holidays, which Luke and I were excluded from. My stepfather would pay for my stepfather would pay for my mom, but not us. Luke and I also shared a room, even though Amy and Ada had their own rooms and we had a guest room, because stepfather insisted that he was paying much more towards the house and that my mom's share would only get her a room for the kids. Luke and I were constantly teased about the situation and by the three of them as we grew up. My mom always said that that we should be thankful, because if it wasn't for our stepfather, we would not be living in such a nice home in a good neighborhood. Anyway, Luke and I became determined to be able to take care of ourselves so that we wouldn't need to take this nonsense from anyone. We have both done very well for our careers and our finances and are in a good place. Since turning 18 and moving out, my relationship with the three of them, the three step siblings, has been very limited. I wouldn't call us friends, but we can exist peacefully if we're in the same space. I visited my mom recently, and my stepfather mentioned that Amy wants to buy a house now that she's pregnant. He asked me if I'm able to help out with the deposit. The house is £500,000 and she needs $150,000 deposit. She has $100,000 so far, 25 on her own, 25 from her mom, and 50 from my stepfather. He was asking if Luke and I can help her with the extra 50, and he said he'd pay us back as part of the inheritance eventually. I said no. So, like, not even till he dies. Anyways, he insisted that Luke and I both own our own houses outright and that with our incomes we should be able to help. I said whether or not I can is irrelevant. My answer is no. He reminded me that Luke and I each gave $10,000 to our cousin for buying a house as a gift. Amy is my sister, and he's offering to pay us back. I said that was our choice then. This is my choice now. He insisted we should be willing to help out family if we're able to. I replied with, like how you helped me and Luke when we were kids. Everything just went quiet after I said this. After a while, he said that if he could go back in time, he'd have done things differently, treat all four of us equally. I said that's good of you, but it doesn't make you entitled to my money now. He said that he knows he's not entitled. That's why he's asking and promising to pay us back. I still said the answer is no. He's not entitled to a loan either. My mom later told me that I could have turned him down without being an asshole and bringing up our childhood, which he feels guilty about.
Dude, no, she turned him down the right way because she already told him, like, no. No, and he's like, well, you have the money. You own your house outright. It's like, I work my ass off. I make a good living. I pay for my own house. Why do I have? This infuriates me. Like, why do I have? I hate when people are like, well, you have a lot of money, so give me some. Like, F you, man. Like, I have my own money. Like,
also, I
work for your own money.
Yeah. Also, and also the fact that the stepsister isn't even the one asking. Like, she sent her daddy to do it. Like, are you kidding me? But also, I'm like a firm believer because I feel like people a lot of times, like, when they're mean to like little kids, like they don't think that it like matters, you know, because like you can be mean to like a little kid and get away with it. And it's like just because somebody's embarrassed about the way that they treated you when you were a little kid doesn't mean that you have to not bring it up to like save them. 100%. Maybe like she could have done this in like a better way or whatever, but 100%, if she still feels bad about that, I'm glad that she confronted him.
And I don't even think she did it in a bad way.
No, remember what, that's not even in. No, she's like, oh, like you helped me and Luke when we were kids,
and so the guy's like
all embarrassed. Good, you should be,
dude. Like, honestly, like what you did to them and what your kids were doing to them,
it's like financial abuse.
I was just gonna call it emotional abuse, because you're basically being I feel like they would have been better off.
We were excluded from vacations because he would pay for my mom but not us. That's horrible. Imagine like everybody goes on vacation for Christmas,
just constantly being left out,
and you're like, oh, I gotta go to my dad's. I have to go to my dad's house or something, or no, they don't have a dad, so I don't even know, my grandma, or be watched by somebody or whatever, or being older, being like, imagine being 15 and your whole family's going on vacation and you have to stay home and take care of yourself because your stepdad won't pay for you.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I blame the mom too, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I blame the mom for putting the kids in that situation because um I don't know what kind of, how
It sucks
what I
because
was
like
going to say is go no, what were you going to say? Go ahead.
like she should have advocated for them, but like maybe in her and not to like justify, because yeah, I also blame her a little bit, but maybe she's like, this is the absolute best I can do for them.
Yeah,
Like they go
we
to
don't
like
know.
better schools than
Yeah,
they
we
ever
don't know
would.
how bad it would have been
Yeah.
them on their own. But like at some point, like look, there's a lot of single people out there, single fathers and single mothers that are that unfortunately bad things happen. Either they, their spouses die, or they were abandon them, whatever. And you figure it out. Everyone has the ability to create something. Whether now some people are scared of like, oh, I can't start a business, or I don't know what I should do. Like, okay, it doesn't mean you can't.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference between not being willing to try, whether you're fearful or about it, or and just like there's a difference between not willing and not being able to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that everyone's able to.
Mm-hmm.
I think that everyone's able to do something. I get that some people are going to have shittier situations than others. It's going to be harder to climb out of it. But like, at what point do you say, damn, this is like so messed up with how my kids are like being treated or whatever? Like, should I just be on my own with them? What are you
I'm sorry. No, my foot is all the way asleep and it hurts so bad.
Oh my God.
I'm like trying so hard. Okay, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
no, but
I was just going to say,
100% you're right.
At what point do you just say like, okay, well, I have a companion, or I have a spouse now, or whatever.
That's like being awful to my children.
Dude, like,
yeah.
I wouldn't be able to stand for that. Like, I've had 3 jobs before.
Yeah.
I had my full-time salary, my full-time job, and then I had 2 part-time jobs because like I was hustling, and we wanted to buy a house at this one time, a couple years ago, and I was like, well, I want to save up money as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked my ass off.
Yeah.
Like,
and not to say that she wasn't. Maybe she was, and maybe she just like was too scared to leave, or maybe she's like genuinely in love with him, and like I don't know.
Yeah.
But
anyway, like I mean the yeah, that's like to go deeper into like the mom or whatever I believe about that. But anyway, yeah, the dad sucks.
Yeah, stepdad's awful.
I'm glad she called him out like that. Like, and how dare he be so demanding? Like, well, you have a lot of money,
and you gave $10,000 to your cousin before,
and now I have to go give $10,000 to every single person that needs money. I have to go give it away just because I gave it to one person.
Also, this person that I barely have a relationship with.
Yeah, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like the sister is nice to her,
and it's not like and
stepsister.
I was gonna say also like she said that the step siblings would like rub it in their faces and stuff. Like, dude, like hell no. Like
they got the dad and their kids suck.
Yeah, and the mom
sucks
a little bit.
Yeah. We finally agree.
We agree on one, you guys. We're turning a new leaf here.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, so story number 3, right?
Yes.
Which one do I want to go with? Oh yeah, this one was pretty good right here. Okay, here we go. Would I be the asshole if I sued my aunt and uncle for neglecting home repairs?
Okay.
Throwaway account for obvious reasons. I, 30 female, have lived in this house with my mom. I decided to stay in my childhood home because my mother had a stroke and needs 24/7 care. There's been a lot of drama with the house. First off, my mom does not own the house. My aunt and uncle do because she did not have the money at the time for a down payment, and at the time she was filing for bankruptcy. My mom, though, would help pay the mortgage, but she would also paid all the utility bills. I'm trying to read it and correct the grammar at the same time. She even got renovations done when she had money. Fast forward a few years, my mom wanted to get some repairs done on the house, but didn't have enough money. She decided to ask them for help. It ended in some petty argument, which resulted to them not talking about the house whatsoever. So over the last 15 years, the house has slowly been falling apart. We had infestation issues, severe water damage, plumbing issues, mold, and lots of electrical issues. Nothing has really been done properly, only temporary fixes. I've tried to explain to them that we need to fix the house, and I will help but they just shrug it off. Tried to convince my cousin to do patchwork, or my favorite quote, pray we win the lottery so we can fix the house.
Oh
my uncle suggested a friend for $5,000 to do some renovations, but they only made things worse. It even took them 1 year to help us with plumbing issue that constantly backed up. I recently started to make a decent amount of money and have been trying to save up to replace and fix a few things. I also used to help pay the mortgage, but had an argument with my aunt after she thought I wasn't paying her when I gave her a check every month, and also got mad when I couldn't pay when it was for an emergency.
Okay.
I know. There's so many things to
wrong with this. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. They wouldn't even tell me how much is left. I had to figure it out on my own. Being fed up, I had a contractor come out. They assessed that with the condition of the house, it can be considered condemned. There were two options we can do. Either do a full renovation or sell the lot as is. If we did the renovation, it would be a lot of money. The other option was to sell the lot. It would be undervalued given the condition of the house, and my aunt would want half of the money if I decided to sell. I personally want to do it the right way and get everything done, as it would be cheaper than the housing prices here. This house would eventually go to me, so why not get the house completely fixed? I'm not really concerned with the cost, and I'm already overtaking the bills. Instead, they want to cut corners to save money. This pissed me off. They will not listen to me and rather do it their way. I can't really do an apartment, as I can't find a place that will allow 4 cats and a dog. My aunt and uncle really haven't done anything properly with the house and is basically leaving it to rot. I don't know how much more I can take, and I'm also concerned with my mother's health because of the mold. Would I be the asshole if I sued my aunt and uncle for neglecting home repairs?
This story is so convoluted.
So, dude, yes. And at first I was like trying to figure out, like, okay, so some people might say, oh yeah, you wouldn't be the asshole. They have to fix it. But when you really start to pay attention, okay, so we'll kind of go through it again, like in the bullet points. Yeah. Okay. All right. The lady does not own the house.
So the mortgage is in the aunt and uncle's name.
Yes. So the aunt and the uncle bought the house. Mm-hmm. So they own the house. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, we'll have to do the bullet points.
And then he kind of tries to be like, oh, well, my mom was gonna buy the house, but she didn't have enough money. Your aunt and your uncle bought the house.
Exactly. Okay. Yes. So I'm glad we're like seeing the same thing, right?
That's first.
So if you clear up,
that's like if I tell you right now, like, their house on the streets for sale,
but like
I want to buy it. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna buy it.
So, yes, okay, so...
Okay, well, I was going to buy it.
Exactly. So the person...
$4,000 and I was going to buy the house.
Dude, the person that wrote this... Look, I feel like we're coming to the same conclusion. Okay. The person that wrote this is delusional.
Yeah. No, okay. Yeah. They're making excuses. But also, I feel like... maybe with some parts, but some parts I don't understand why he's shilling out money for this. You know what I mean? Just move out. But anyways.
Yes, okay. So the most important... The bullet point number 1. The aunt and the uncle bought the house.
Bullet point number 2. He says they're helping pay the mortgage. You mean rent?
Exactly. Thank you. So you're and basically you're paying rent when you can.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Now, but I will say this: if you as a landlord, if you are renting a house, you do have to make repairs. The house has to be livable.
And that's like, there's laws about that, right, depending on the state and stuff.
But it sounds like you're not paying rent. You're not really paying the rent. Mm-hmm. It sounds like they bought the house. They're paying the mortgage. When your mom was able to pay the mortgage, she would pay.
And I get that she has health problems and stuff. Like, I get that. So, like, it might be harder to work. It might be whatever, right? But yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, this is where we live. And, you know, like, if this is, like, the best place that you can be in, then I get it. But, like, any reasonable person, the house is in a condemned state. You need to move out.
And then she's like, oh, I would also help pay for the mortgage, but like my aunt would get mad when I couldn't pay it, even when it was an emergency. Like, okay, then what if your aunt was a bank? You think the bank's gonna care? Yeah. You get a certain amount of days, a certain amount of like 90 days, or then you go into default. Like it doesn't matter. Like,
yeah, because it sounds like I was going to get on a rent plan or something, but then I could only pay every once in a while, so my aunt would get mad at me. It's like, well, then she probably just was like, well, then freaking don't pay rent then. You know what I mean? Pay it or don't.
The aunt and uncle are paying the mortgage. If the mom gives them money, cool.
Helps
if the daughter helps pay the mortgage sometimes,
Yeah.
okay. Obviously they're frustrated.
Yeah.
Like, well, we're paying this freaking mortgage. We're not gonna fix it.
Yeah.
Because you got to get out. We're not gonna fix it. Like,
yeah, it sounds like, because it's like, if they were paying actual rent, then I would, my final verdict would be, no, of course you're not the asshole. If you're paying a rent, the house has to be in a livable state.
Yes.
It has to be in a livable
100%.
state. You moved in there on a contract, basically, right? But if you're just kind of like staying in this condemned home and occasionally paying like a little bit of money, then like you're just kind of staying there. You know what I mean?
Just,
like,
yeah. And then
you're not like actually like, you know.
And she wants them to fix up the house. She wants them to like get a contractor and come over and make all these repairs. And
they should do that,
right,
if they're intending on renting
it. If they're renting it, right? But since they're not, they're like, dude, we're not gonna spend $20,000 or whatever the hell to go make all these repairs.
Freaking sell the lot.
Like, yeah, they're like, I don't care. We just want to patch it up and get rid of it.
Also, she only wants half the.
That's what her assumption was.
The money? Oh.
Because first of all, we also don't know how much money each one of them.
Yeah.
How much money the mom and the daughter have put towards this.
Yeah.
But like she said, dude, the daughter said that she wants to do it right because one
day she'll own it.
One day the house is gonna go to her.
That's so sad to me because it's always like, well, after everybody dies, then
but
it might come to me.
Yeah, but it's not your mom's house.
No,
your mom doesn't.
Yeah,
pay
but
it.
we don't know their family thing. Like maybe it would, even with the aunt and uncle, you know, or whatever. But
yeah,
we don't know the family dynamic at all, you know. But
I feel like.
Are you making assumptions?
No, I'm making an assumption that to me is normal. Your assumptions are wild.
That are to me normal.
Yeah. So I just feel like, I wasn't sure how you were gonna like pick up on like all the things, like
it was
how she's basically trying to create all this like smoke and mirrors to make it sound like
literally like half of that was just smoke and mirrors. Like
smoke
it was
and mirrors.
Like so much of it was like that could have been cut down so much, but it's like we're paying for this and also like we're kind of paying rent and then like sometimes there's patchwork and like whatever the whole like it was too.
Your aunt,
like, I pay, but then she gets mad at me because sometimes I have an emergency. What?
Yeah, and like okay, so now they have to pay.
Yeah.
So you would be the asshole if you sued.
Would be the asshole.
You would definitely 100%
You would
be
not
the
be the asshole again if you were like if you were actually renting the house, but you're just kind of staying in this condemned home.
It's basically like some like, hey, I own a house. If you need a place to stay,
this horrendous kind of.
Or it was normal, but
it's
been breaking down over the years. But at the same time, like, I mean, houses 20 years.
How long have they been staying there?
They said for like they mentioned something.
Oh, I didn't catch that because
like,
in my head, I'm also assuming in my head.
I want to say
I didn't
like
think that they'd been there that long.
20 years at least.
Okay, I was thinking like 5.
No, like 20 years because then they said like 50. Fast forward a few years later. So over the last 15 years, the house has been slowly falling apart. It's like, I mean,
yeah, they're just kind of, especially then, because I was thinking like it hadn't even been that long. So it's in my head that aggravates the situation a little more. If you've never actually like been paying rent consistently, you know, you're just kind of like, they're almost doing you a favor.
Yeah. They are
sure, sue her and then have them freaking sue you for back pay on all the rent that you owe them. You know what I mean? Like that would be like in my head if I was the aunt and I got that, you know, notice or whatever, I got served that, that'd be like, sure, dude, sue me, and then I'm gonna freaking sue you for back pay and rent because we, you know, had a verbal agreement or whatever the situation was.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Freaking wild.
They were definitely crazy. I read it. I first read it. And I'm like, yo,
that was such a
what's
mess
going on
to read
right here?
also.
I'm not too sure. And then I had to read it again. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Final story. Big one. I almost knocked that down. Am I the asshole for bringing my sister-in-law's wallet to the restaurant when she conveniently always forgets it? My 28 female, my sister-in-law, Amy, who's 26, always comes to visit from out of town. She always stays with us instead of in a hotel and always wants to go out to expensive restaurants. She always conveniently forgets her wallet or comes up with some excuse as to why she can't pay her share. She has implied that since I make much more money than her, that I should be the one to pay. No, not my husband should pay, but me specifically. I do make a fair amount of money, but not so much that I can always treat myself every time they come into town. Nonetheless, in the past I have just paid the bill and asked her to pay me back later, but she never does. She had made reservations at an extremely expensive restaurant last night, and before we left, I made it clear that I would not be paying for her bill. This is where I might be the asshole, and I'll admit that I got this move straight from an episode of 2.5 Men. As they were leaving, her and my husband went to the car. I pretended I forgot something and went back inside. I found her wallet sitting right on top of her suitcase. I put it in my purse and we went to the restaurant. When we were done eating, I asked for separate bills and she said no, we need one bill because she forgot her wallet again. I reached in my purse and said, "This wallet?" She was extremely furious. She said that I should not have touched or grabbed her wallet. So am I the asshole for taking her wallet and bringing it to the restaurant?
Dude, it's so funny because, like, if that was me or whatever, like, that happened, like, oh, dude, I forgot my wallet. And then, like, my cousins or my brother-in-law, he's like, oh, I saw it on the counter. I brought it out. I'm like, oh, thanks, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you know, like, they just be like, oh, thanks. My bad.
But obviously she's mad because
she got caught.
She got caught in her little scheme or whatever.
Yeah.
Dude.
But I also, do you know, so obviously not the asshole. Like, I mean.
Yeah. I imagine being that waiter. Like,
oh,
because
yes,
I imagine it was like when the waiter's
like
at the table, you know, like, oh, separate checks or one. Like, no,
so you mean this wallet, bitch?
This wallet? Dude, if I was a waiter, the way my mouth would have, just.
You're like, damn.
Just immediately like, burr, 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 burr.
Yeah. Round one. Fight.
Dude. Yeah. I mean, that's like so bad. Obviously, it's super irritating. She knows what she's doing. She's doing it on purpose.
Dude, you know, but at the, like, if I was the girl, the
sister-in-law?
If I were a guy, we're going to get blocked for copyright.
Yeah. It's so good. The likeness is too similar.
I feel like I sounded like her, huh?
I think you did. That's how we're actually gonna quit the podcast. We're just gonna go on the road full time.
We're starting our tour. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, why did she let it go on for so long?
Yeah, and also I feel like this is another one. She doesn't mention her husband at all, but it's her husband's sister, and I feel like this is another one where it's like, you know, if maybe she's uncomfortable, I feel like this is a point where the husband maybe needed, I don't know if he did or didn't, but I would hope that he should have stepped in, or I hope that he tried or something at least, you know. And it's his sister,
dude. And another thing that's funny is like she's out here making reservations.
Yeah. We're going to go to this, which is really nice if you consult and whatever. You're like, hey, I'm going to come into town. You know, are you guys cool with going to this restaurant? I can't pay for everybody. You know what I mean? Like, is this a cool situation? It's like, heck yeah. You know, like I live here, but I don't usually treat myself. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, she'd be like, oh, yeah, I'm down to go. Like, yeah.
That'd be super cool. You know, I already made a reservation. Sick.
But she's like, you know, making a reservation, getting like a 5-course meal. You know what I mean?
Dude. Like, I always see jokes about that when people go on, like, first dates or something. And then, like, you go to, like, whatever, a restaurant or a coffee shop or something. And, like, one person gets, like, all this stuff. Like, freaking, like, the most expensive coffee and, like, a nice pastry or whatever. The other person gets, like, a tea or something. And it's like, do you want to split it 50-50?
That is, dude, I hate that so much. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? You're triggering me. I hate that. I hate it when people do that.
Because if it's like a couple dollars, depending on, like, if you're at a really fancy dinner, if you're at a really fancy dinner and it's a $20 discrepancy, that's the same thing to me as if you're at a coffee shop and it's a $4 discrepancy. You know what I mean? So it depends on the situation. But if it's not small, or if it's not a huge discrepancy,
or like when people are getting like you know shrimp cocktails and a bunch of margaritas,
and I got like an appetizer,
and you don't drink, like I don't drink or like whatever.
Yeah, why am I paying?
My bill's $15, bro, and all of your guys' bills is $40.
Yeah, you had Yeah, exactly. You had 2 drinks that were $15 each.
And I hate that.
You
like,
want to split it even?
So
No.
I would never do that. Like I would only do, the only times that I do that where I suggest it is because I know like what
Everybody's
what
was
we
about
kind of ordered,
equal.
and if like, hey, do people want to do it? Like we're talking like within $5.
Exactly.
You know
That's what I'm
mean?
saying. Yeah. If you're at a even, and that's what I'm saying. Like it depends on the situation, right? Because like $5 is a big deal if you were at a coffee shop. That's like a whole order of something.
And also, sometimes I will do it when I know that theirs is more than mine. Like if I go out with my sister or something, or like a good a couple that's like good they're good friends or something, like, and I know that I'm paying some more of their bill,
a couple
but
bucks
like
or whatever.
even if it was $10-15,
Yeah.
like, because they're my friends and I love them, I appreciate their friendship, like whatever, like yeah, I'll pay something.
It's the same thing that we talked about previously, where it's like occasionally you just cover the check.
Yeah. Sometimes I do that too. I've gone to dinner with like my parents and your parents and stuff, and like I'll just surprise, like I got dinner today.
Yeah, exactly.
Just for love, out of love.
Yeah.
But when people are like especially when like people are like out drinking and stuff, and like and they're like, yeah, let's just all split it, and I'm like, and if I was like, you know what, I don't want to spend a lot of money today, I'm just gonna get like a burger and a soda and a nice burger.
I don't feel like drinking,
like $20
or whatever. Yeah,
$20 or something with burger, soda, and tip or something like that. And then people are like, they're $3 or $4 $10 drinks, like no, like I'm paying my, and like, and I have done it before, but I was pissed off.
Yeah,
like I was pissed off, and I've also been like, hey, like, look, mine was $20. Here's my 20% tip. Y'all can split the rest.
Exactly.
Like I've done that too, because like I'm not gonna do that if I'm paying $30 more than what I should have paid. Like what the hell?
Also, like I love like the person, and I try to be this person, like where we go out or whatever, like going out with like a group of like 3-4 people or something, and then the check comes and it's like, you know what, let's not even, I'll just put my card down and then everybody send me money. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like I that makes it so much easier, and I love when there's a person like that in the group.
Yes.
I hate doing it, and then somebody would be like, my tacos were $12.99. Here's $12.99.
Yeah.
Or
where's
my
your
tacos
tax?
I'll
charge you tax.
The tip, the what, like you send a little bit extra.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
Or like my tacos were about $12.
No.
You know what I mean? It's like no, babe.
The way that my brain works is like, because I'm all about justice, it also translates to like fairness, which translates to being equal, which translates to yours was $12.50. And your tax is this, and I always end up sending, like,
when somebody else is the one that puts their card down or whatever, I always end up sending even like, not on purpose, but just because I'm like estimating high, you know what I mean, for like tax or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, my stuff was $12, like I'm gonna send you like $15.50 or something. You know what I mean? Just like, because I want to make sure, like, I don't want to jip you. And the thing you're losing out because you were being nice.
And the thing is that like somebody might say, oh wow, Roman's really stingy. No, because when I'm on the other end, I do exactly what you do.
Exactly.
I'll send more because you know what I mean.
100%.
I just hate when someone's trying to not pay their share.
It's not even that it's like, I'm not. Your stuff was whatever. You gypped me $2. Obviously, I'm not hurting for, and some people are.
But it's a principle,
I'm not hurting for $2. Yeah. But it's so irritating because you just feel like you're like getting like taken advantage of.
That's exactly why I hate that. It's like, I also don't care about the $2, but because I know that you could have looked at your bill and sent the right amount, but you're choosing to send less.
It's
and
more.
You're being inconsiderate, and you're being like a little sneak.
It's not the money. It's more like the more aggravating part to me is like the reflection that it shows of like your relationship with that person.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you literally don't care. Like you don't care about me.
Yep.
Like that's what it feels like. And maybe I'm sensitive about that, but like it feels like, oh, you like, yeah, like you're taking advantage of me.
Dude, we were on point today. We were on point.
We were on a team today.
Yeah, for sure. We agreed on basically everything, and then this little tangent that we did right now, like I like that you thought about that, because it gives us,
I like that you're crazy.
Yeah, I like that you like to cut me off and stuff.
Yeah,
so that was pretty cool. That was a good episode. I like that episode.
For all those that were concerned, nobody was. My foot has woken back up. Thank you.
For the 37 subscribers out there, we love y'all,
Yeah.
and Kaylee's foot is okay.
Thank you. Only the first 16 get cars. Again, I want to reiterate every episode.
If we get 100 likes, she'll show you her toes on the camera.
Listen,
for 100 likes.
if you want to see my toes, go to my.
There's a link in the description.
There's a link in the description for my toes. Thank you.
But I saw something when I was poking around. Some other subreddits that were like
We're venturing.
There was like some relationship stuff. We'll explore. We'll come up with obviously.
Next episode. I'm explaining Sigma grind set.
Yes,
and beta males.
And also, if anybody has like interesting like stories or subreddits, please drop them in the comments.
I want to apologize to the neckbeards. I didn't mean to be offensive. Just a little bit.
I mean, you could be a hardworking stand-up.
You can be a hardworking
stand-up guy. You just don't get anything on your cheeks or your chin. You just get it on your neck.
No, but neckbeard implies like.
I know.
Yeah. I'm sorry to all the fedora wearing neckbeards that basement dwell and have girlfriends. I was gonna say no, it's okay. We'll get into that later.
Kaylee's getting crazy again, so we're gonna end the episode before she goes too deep and too dark. So thank you for watching, everyone. Thank you for sharing and giving us dropping some comments and stuff. And
thank you for subscribing.
Yeah, we really enjoy. We enjoy giving you guys entertainment. So stay tuned for next week for 2 more amazing episodes. We don't know what the subject's going to be just yet, but
Neckbeards.
We'll end it here with the neckbeard comment because she's wild. And so we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Peace.